October 22nd, Sunday, October 22nd. So yeah, let's do teacups. We haven't done teacups long time, and then maybe we can play with the fan or something while we're doing teacups. So teacups also includes that, right? That turn and that spinning. So palm open, relaxed, and you can just start two hands. So we'll just start with back, right? So drawing back and not pulling all the way back, just dropping the hands and just lightly let it brush the body. Right? And then it turns out and drop. Right? If you try to force it, you're going to bind all of this. So just let it turn. You can see it's really in front of the body. And then come up and tuck the elbows, shoulders, elbows in and down. And you just do two hands as a warm up. But yeah, you can see it stays in front of the body. You don't want to pull the wrist and the palms back too far. They just draw through, right? And they really come out from the side right here and then circle. And just keep the palms open. And we have that little stretch. You don't have to make the stretch too intense in the beginning. Just make it relaxed, just to warm up the joints. Just focus on keeping the shoulders down right here, the elbows, let it drop. And as I do two hands, you can see, right, and let it overlap because it centers. Right here, it brushes against the body. And just the fingertips end. And I used to say teacups only have two movements or two directions, right? So one is going back and then one is going forward. And just getting used to this movement. Yeah? Just getting used to this movement. Just dropping the hand. But you can make this, as you warm up, you can make this stretch a little bit more intense, and that will develop this area more. So you can keep it light to warm up, but then you can start stretching and you can start creating that angle a little bit more instead of so relaxed. Here, you can bend down, you can feel that pull all over. But you want to warm up into that larger stretch, right? That more intense. And then if you want, the other thing you can add is as you're coming in, instead of just keeping the palms open, you can start rotating the fingers a little bit. So right, starting from as you come through, like the small finger, then number 4, 3, 2, 1 thumb, and then it can open. Right? So you could modify how you do the hands into a more spiral motion, or it could just be kind of open. Right? It still has a curve. Start to do that. And if you wanted to turn it into that palm exercise, right? You could squeeze, release. So one finger at a time, type of thing. Yeah? And then if you do it with that intense, make sure you shake it out in between. But those are simple modifications you can just add just with the palm and just with the fingers. Yeah, come and stand. Come and stand. Yeah. Okay. And then the other is to come up, right? So one is going back and then the other is going forward. So you just want to feel the arm swinging, right? So as it swings, it lifts. And then it's going to reach outside, elbows down, and then it's going to scoop behind. And same thing, we're not reaching way behind here, right? It's just turning and scooping really on the side, and then rising up, rubbing through the rib cage again, coming out, spinning out, keeping the elbows in and down. Okay, so the basic teacup is just forward and back. That's all it is. So as the moves start to expand, you get lost. Just remember it either goes forward or it goes back from here. Right, so doing two palms, two arms at the same time, that's symmetry. This is the warm-up. Okay, and again, when you come here, don't pull it back, just let it scoop and round, and then rise. Okay, and then come back again, so go back, just let it fall. And then come forward. Just let it swing. So the basic is just learning. It's just forward or it's backwards. So it's rising or it's falling, but just two directions from there. And then different variations just spin out of those two things, but it always comes back to those things. So when I'm coming up, I'm really stretching my fingers. I'm stretching and I'm leading with my fingers. And you could imagine same thing, like something pulling your fingers and dragging it around from there. Okay, so it's called teacups, right? And you're simulating coconut dance, candle dance, teacup. Right? You're holding something that if you came up, you didn't want it to spill. Right? So you'd really have to turn. And if you do it in a dance, of course, right? And you're actually holding something, you'd have to let your body adjust to keep that really coming up right from there. Right? So you have to let the body bend and fold, it's according to your own flexibility. But because we're not physically holding something, right? It's the concept. You feel like you're still holding it, but it can be sideways, right? And you're holding that ball, you're holding that bubble, that balloon. In the application sense, there is practicality. There is practicality to imagining that, you have to keep something down and you have to manipulate around that. So your whole body has to move around the object. But that's that's really for application with that'll lead into martial arts application, self-defense and such. Yeah? But just to learn the concept of the teacup and how to move. So you can see what it's moving. Right? It's the whole arm all the way through the joint. Right? There's a lot of exercise just in there. Okay. So you just do one hand. Right? You just rest the other hand. You just do one hand. And as you do one hand, let the body turn. So let the body turn, pull the spine, it just drops. Let the body turn. Let the body turn. As it turns, it folds. Right? So you come in here, it turns, it folds. And as you turn, it opens up. As you turn, it folds in. As you turn, it opens. This joint opens. As you turn, you fold in, closes. As you turn, it comes out. So let the spine move. Let the hips, the pelvic joint, everything move and turn. So we do one side and then we should do the other side. The same thing, turn, 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 it opens, turn, it folds and closes, turn, it opens, and turn and turn. So you can see how the turn helps to move the arm and turning the spine and letting the waist turn and such. It helps the teacup, helps the shoulder joint, it helps the elbows and even the wrist to move. So over here, if you wanted to, you could really rotate. Right? Imagine you holding that candle and then come out of it. Just right here, keeping that palm up. And so you really have to rotate. So if I rotate, right, that turn pivots with the rotation instead of only the arm trying to do this. Right, if I turn, right, you can feel it going together. Okay, then we go back to the other arm, but the other arm just come up. So I open, I turn, it opens, and I turn, and it starts the teacup, closes, and I turn, right, it opens, and I turn and drop my hand, and then I turn. So the turning moves my hand, and turning. You can just see that spiral coming out. You know, let the arm extend. Relax the shoulder. And then I'm going to switch to my other hand. So as I come out from here, I'll just start extending the other hand. Turn and turn and turn. Yeah. So as you turn the spine, turn the waist, you start to realize the hand is just making circles and going up and down. Right? It's the body that's bringing the hand to the side. Relax the shoulder, keep the elbows down, stretching the fingertips, scooping, shooting. Just breathe normally. Okay, all right. Shake, loosen out for a little bit. All right, so we'll just do some patterns, right? We'll come back and we'll do 3. So, okay, you can mirror me or opposite, however, whatever makes sense to you, right? So just go 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll switch hands, right? 1, 2, 3. And then we'll switch hands, same pattern. 1, 2, 3. Switch hands. 1, 2, 3. Switch hands and just turn. 1, 2, 3, and switching hands. Right, so as you start flowing, you don't need to completely stop before you switch hands. Right? You just go with the turn. Right here, turning, so I can start the next movement. Right here, turning, so I can start the next movement. So we'll alternate. So 1, right? Right here, you're turning, so alternate. You're turning, so that next comes out. Turning, right? The next movement comes out. Right here, turning. The next movement comes out. Turning. The next movement comes out. The next hand comes out. Okay, so you make up your own simple drills, right? 3 times, 5 times, 1, 1, whatever patterns you want. just to help you get used to just flowing. Right? And as you start moving, you'll feel your hands just as you're turning. Right? They're not glued to your body, so you feel it shifting, right? As even though this hand is working, right? This hand doesn't have to be stuck here, right? It can be lightly rubbing and shifting, right? And that initiates the next move. Right, so coming up. So we start with the 3, right? 1, 2, 3, and then we switch hands. 1, 2, 3, and switch hands. 1, 2, 3, and then switch. 1, 2, 3, and then switch. Right, so right here, right, as you turn out, you can start transitioning already. 1, 2, 3. Right, as you turn back, you can start the next movement. 1, 2, 3, and let the spine turn, let the body turn, let the waist turn. And whatever makes sense for you at this point. And transition. And transition. And then we go to single. Right? So 1, and then right here as we come out of it, you switch. Right? As you come out of it, you switch. And keep the palm, the fingertips extended, right? Stretching, extending. Just lightly touching the bodies, just stimulates the body. Just just take your time. If it's jerky, don't worry about it. Right? You have to just get used to that movement forward and back. And as you relax, then that flow will start to come out. Okay. Right? So simple enough, right? You can create your own drills. So we go back to 3 and we'll run through back and forward. Right? So we'll start back first. 1, 2, 3, and then we'll switch to the other hand. 1, 2, 3. And we'll switch to the other hand, but we'll switch direction. So 1, 2, 3, and switch, rising. 1, 2, 3, and then we'll switch and we'll start all over again. So back. 1, 2, 3, switching back. 1, 2, 3, rising. 1, 2, yeah, turn the body. 3, turn and turn. And then switching, rising. 1, 2, 3, and then we start all over again. We switch hands, but go back. 1, 2, 3, switching hands back. 1, 2, 3, switching hands, rising. 1, 2, 3, and switching hands. 1, 2, 3. So on your own, you can do a lot more repetitions, right? And then go to the single, right? So 1, 1, and then switching direction, switching hand. 1, 1. Okay, and starting again. Back, 1, back. Switching each repetition, then rising and rising. Switching back, 1, 1, and then rising and rising. And then back again, 1, 1, and then rising, 1, 1, 1 more. Back, back, and then rising and rising. Yeah. Do one more time. Back, back, and rising and rising. Okay. Yeah. So you can see as you start alternating more and more, right? You really have to do longer and longer till it sets in and get used. And you get confused and start again, go back to the basic, right? But just you gotta drill it into your mind. Right? It's just back and forward, no matter which hand. It's only 2 movements. Okay. So let's just hold something. Get a fan or a stick or a sword. A sword, a little stick. I'm trying to, before I grab my fan off the table. Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh, I don't have my fan in there. What did I do with my fan? I don't know where it is. I'll grab the fan off here. So, folding fan or any kind of fan, right? If you have it, or just kind of any kind of object, right? Can be something like this, right? And we start off with single, but if you have 2, right, you can hold 2 from there. So if it's a folding fan, right, you start off with it closed first, and just get used to holding an object. Right? And you can run through the whole thing, but just holding that object, right? And you can feel you can't just choke. Right? It's light, and it's going to open and close a little bit. Right? If you're holding a stick, don't hold it all the way down. Right? Hold it part way up so you have this part. Right? You have an area that can actually catch. Right? And just so you get used to that, whether or not you actually learn that, you get used to holding it there. Fan dance, of course, you have to hold here because you have to open. Yeah. But if it's a solid object, you could hold higher from there. So just get used to holding something while you're doing those same drills, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right? You only have one, you can pass it to the other hand. 1, 2, 3. Right? I can just pass it to the other hand. 1. Or I can just leave one hand open and one hand have an object. Right? So whatever variation you want to do. So you could use, right? It can be anything, right? If you don't have fan, you think, oh, I don't have fancy stuff. I'm sure you probably have a wooden cooking spoon in your kitchen. Right? And pass it, and then we have to go the other way. So rising. And especially when you rise now, you start to really feel the length of the object you're holding. Right? And this is where it shows you, if I don't turn, then I'm going to have a good chance of hitting myself. So I want to turn, right? The teacup, and turn. Right? Turn, turn. Right here, especially here, turn and turn. That last will spin the hand out. Right? So turning, teacup, turning, keep it away from the body, and the turn keeps it away. The turn, as that scoop comes out, right? That scoop will send that away from the body. So turn, 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 turn. Right? And just move your hands comfortably. Right? And two sides. Right? So I can just pass it to the other hand. Turn, 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 turn. You can see from here, I'm just scooping this way. Right? Nothing real fancy. Just getting used to holding an object. And as you hold the object, you can see the importance of the teacup and how the teacup applies. So you do fan dance, you do sword, you do staff, eskrima. You can see how the teacup movement teaches you how to move. Okay, so if you have a fan, if it's a folding fan, you can open it. If it's a fixed fan, or it's already open. So you start off with it open and you can see, wow, it hits a lot of area, right? So, oh, if it's a long fan, you're going to hit yourself. So you start to adjust, right? That sweep where now it comes out. And you can't keep it real close to your body. You just let it swing, turn. Right? So the circle, right? The area of your arm is larger, right? Because now you're holding that open fan, so it's way out. Right? It's a large circle. And again, it really shows you that you have to turn the body and turn the body, and while the hand is making the teacups and dropping up and down. Okay? Same thing, you can switch. And just relax. Right? So if it's fan, you're practicing holding the fan and keeping it open or closed, or opening it during the movement. Right? I can see my left hand not as functional as my right hand. I have to practice way more with my left hand to keep the fan open. And most of us are like that, right? Our dominant hand. So yeah, you can see over here, if I don't turn, then I have to move my hand. I'm going to hit myself. But if I turn my waist, it brings my hand to the side. Then I can just drop. You keep the shoulder down, keep the elbow tucked in. Yeah? So as the fan is open, you can start seeing how, right, those movements, it's the fan starts scooping and grabbing things, right, moving things around, right, scooping up and like it's going to catch something, right, and just lightly move it around. So, I didn't plan for this, but right, if you had something light like a feather, you could put something light on here. Oh, what do I have? I know I have feathers around. I have things lying around, but maybe like a tissue paper, something really light. And you could just put it on here, and you could just move it around. And you have to really relax, right, and see if you can kind of catch it and keep it from falling. Right? It could just be a ribbon or something, so that while you're playing with it, you have that feeling. Right? You're not just holding an object, but you're really manipulating something. You're moving the air, you're scooping, right? You're lifting. You start leading with the fan, with the edge of the fan. You come here, you start really leading with that. Right? You start really leading with the edge of the fan, scooping and coming up. And so even to keep the fan open, right, there's exercise. You're exercising the palm and the hand to keep the fan open from here. And the feeling like, oh, this fan is flying by itself, right? You start following that flan. You start following the fan, right? Instead of leading the fan, right? So the intent of what you want to do, and the physical follows that intent. From there. So the fun part of playing the floating fan, right, is opening it. That's the fun part. So right, you play it closed, and then where would you open it? Right? So as you come through, right here is an obvious place to open, right? Coming up, and right here as you're coming down, right, that's an obvious place to open the fan. And then where would you close it? Right? As you come in here, that's a place to close the fan. Right? So the fun part is like, oh, where can I open the fan? And if it's loose enough, these are cheap fans from Chinatown. It's just a little bolt. If it's too tight, right, you loosen it up. If it's too loose, you have to make sure that it doesn't fall apart on you. But that's the fun part, right? To come up and then close and open. Close and open. That's what everybody wants to do. I don't know that I can do it on my left hand right now, so I'm not even going to try. And same thing, you're going to go backwards, right? Like, oh, see where I close it, right? Oh, right there. That would be the opening, right? And then closing, and scooping, and open. So that's the fun part, holding it. Yeah. I won't even try over here. My left hand, I'd have to try that on my own. I'm waste your time playing with it. But yeah, well, there's the floating fan is fun. Those are cheap. You can do the same thing with these. Right? Just kind of holding it, and you don't have to choke it. You can hold it really lightly, right? And just hold it fingertip, right? Just my thumb and forefinger, right? The rest of the palm could be open. And you see how I discipline that other hand, right? To be resting. It can be sitting in the center. It can be resting. Yeah. And the same thing, the fun of it is if you imagine that the fan is leading you, it feels real different, right? And you have to just turn and go with the fan leading you. Right? You imagine like you had a bird or a butterfly, right? That you're trying to follow, and it's just dragging you around. So these circles can be large or small. They can be really tight. Right? They can be really large, right? And coming out from here. Yeah. And then if you add walking, right, we'll close it with that. Right? Then that's the dance, right? So if you can the same thing, you could drill it, right? You could just like stepping up, right, and stepping back, right? Just walking, right? Walking in place. Just walking in place. But really the fun of teacups is to walk in a circle. So if I'm coming up this way, right, I'm coming up this way, my body is turning. So if I pick up my leg and my body turns, you see my foot turn. Right? So my foot turns, right? And then I just keep walking in a circle. It comes up, right? And just start following that. If I switch hands, then I'm going to walk the other way. Every time I switch hands, right, I'm going to change direction. And switch hands, I'm going to go the other way. This is rising. I'm rising. Right, switch hands, so I'm going to go the other way. So if I pick up my foot and I just let everything turn, right, that'll be the walk. So if I'm going that way, right, it's walking circle, right, with all the teacups just holding that position, right? And if I pull my spine, right, pull my spine, oh, that's going to keep on making me turn until I release the spine. And I pull the spine, and I'm just pulling the spine, right? Release, pulling the spine, right? And then wherever you want, you just add the teacup in, right? So you can hold it and add the teacup wherever you want, and then come out. Yeah, and come back. Okay. From here, right, I'm turning this way, so I could walk this way, right? And then end with the teacup. Again, come down, right? Turning, so pick up the foot and just keep walking in that circle, and then finish the teacup. Turning, pick up my foot, keep on turning, and then finish the teacup. Okay, come here, and turning, and just keep walking in that circle, right? And finish the teacup. And face this way. Right? I come here, and then I'm turning, so I pick up my right foot, and I just keep on turning, and finish the teacup. And left hand down, I'm turning to my right, so I pick up my left foot, and I just keep on turning, and then finish the teacup. Yeah. So it's winding up. It's if I pick up my leg and I wind my spine, right, and I'm holding my spine and not letting it go, you're going to keep on turning until you release the spine, right? And then you can turn the other way. So the leg, right, the hand going out, right, and turning. So the leg shoots that way, the hand shoots that way, or they both step back, right, from there. And so the leg can do the same thing with the hand. It can step back and teacup, right? And come back, right, and teacup, or it can come out and teacup. Right? Can come out and turn, right? Hand and leg can turn and teacup, or it can come back and teacup. Yeah. So as you relax, you can feel the relationship, right? The hand can pick up, they both can turn, it leading from there, right? Or coming back, stepping back, right? Can be stepping back, turning, and then stepping back, teacup. Okay? So this is a fast review of teacup. Just remembering it's either back or forward. So when you start doing all these other things, you might have to, if you get confused, just remember, oh, do back, right, and forward. And then when you do one hand at a time, let the body turn. Turn, 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 right? Turn, 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 right? Turn, turn, turn. So the turning will move the hand for you, and the turning will help to close the joint, right? Close the joint and open the joint. Right? If I turn away, the joint will open. You'll send the hand out. Right? If I turn away from it, it'll send the hand out. If I turn into it, it'll bring the hand back in from there. Okay? All right. Up. Last one. Up. Slowly letting it go. Breathe in and rise and press the knees back. And good. Okay, let's end with the bell meditation. Right. So again, sit comfortably. Right. You can really hold your body or just slightly relaxed, but just a little bit of upright. Just remember, there's no one way, right, that you every time you meditate, that's how you hold your body. Holding your body in different positions has different effects, has different outcomes. But we meditate to clear the mind. So any distractions, acknowledge them and then let them go. Relax the shoulders. Relax all the facial muscles. Try to think of no physical expression, but smiling from the heart area. Use the ha sound to inhale and exhale. That yawn. Feel the lower abdomen expanding and relaxing, the diaphragm expanding and relaxing. Relax the shoulders. Pardon your mind in the lower dantian. The sun sending its energy down through the top of your head, feeding the sun in your chest. Slowly open your eyes, rub your hands together, move your legs around, warm up your eyes. Just absorb that heat, that energy. Just feel it washing out your eyes. And then brushing your scalp, just the fingertips, just the pads of your fingers. Center to outside, front to back. Yeah, same thing, but tapping just the fingertips. Center to outside, front to back. At least three rounds. In the back of the neck, up and down. And then unroll the ears, pull up, just working your way down, unrolling and pulling ears, until you're pulling down. And just the fingertips gently massaging, or massaging and pulling the muscle tissue away from the neck, two sides. Drop your shoulders, drop your elbows. Move your head side to side and up and down. Try to get into the occipital ridge right at the base of the skull. Okay, just the fingertips massaging the jaw area, the cheek, the jaw, working your way down. And you can scrape that tissue down if you want. Yeah. I'm just using my knuckle and rolling. Yeah. Okay. And the top and outside. And starting from the shoulder, outside, top, inside, underneath. Shoulder to fingertips. And then kidneys, back of leg, side, front, inside. Again, pull the heel up, stretch the toe, right? Sink right into that hip joint while you're doing that. And think of the lower dantian, same time, let the body turn a little. Yeah. Wiggle it out on the other side, pull the heel up and just stretch the toe. Right? Sink into that hip joint and turn a little. And think of the lower dantian at the same time. Yeah, wiggle the toe, stretch. Yeah, just get that fascia to stretch. Think sitting chair, two sides, that last final stretch. Oh, and lastly, just remember last week I talked about that single whip, right? Using that to, you really stretch. I can feel it. Oh, it cramps inside of here because I'm so not used to doing this movement anymore. But that kind of picking up and drawing and letting the span can develop. And eventually it's more rounded as you round into the movement. But stretching the fingers, right? So thumb down, and the fingers around it, wrapping and pulling and stretching, and then pulling the wrist up, letting that bend, but pulling that straight down. And just like you're plucking, drawing something up, and that can develop and stretch and develop all of this from here. But shake it out afterwards, and two sides from there. Okay, right hand, left hand. All right, thank you. That was fun. We haven't done the teacups for so long.